Hello, welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James, and today, off the back of the Microsoft Xbox Showcase for 2023, I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Great. Finally, a reasonable showcase.
Reasonable. Okay, well, we'll dive into our full
No,
thoughts in a
that's a
sec.
lie. That's a lie. That is a definite lie. It was not reasonable. It was pretty damn
Really,
good.
really good.
Really good. Take that.
Especially if you're a fan of like
30.
Western RPGs, full stop. Actually, then you were eating well from this showcase. We're going to go through every announcement one by one in the order that they all happened. I've got the list here, just that Matt and I worked through on the website when we were accumulating everything. So I'll just go through in that same order. I think in the end there was about 27 different games, including a 45-minute deep dive into Starfield. That was the dedicated Starfield Direct at the end. Now, obviously, you said it was pretty good. That top level stuff, though, I guess. Any thoughts before we really dive into the finer details?
Top level stuff.
Yeah.
Top shelf. The top shelf stuff. Well, to sum it all off, it was a big surprise for many things. One, Dead World Premieres. That's nothing new. That's just funny. I do like what Xbox has done. Pretty much just PlayStation fans, all the Sony pros, hanging shit on them, saying, "Oh, world premiere," and it's like, you know what? We're going to keep that in because we feel like it. Xbox Series X comes out. Oh, it looks like a fridge, and what do?
They make a fridge.
They make a fridge. So good on you, Sony ponies, for giving Xbox great ideas and just making up their own silly things like world premiere every time. I got excited every time I saw world premiere because I just laugh at it because I remember years ago when they first did with the gameplay showcase of no gameplay, it just had world premiere, and everyone just made fun of it.
As
and
well,
it's still here today.
Which is basically what happened at the PlayStation Showcase the other week. Like, I mean, the only thing is they didn't say they were going to have heaps of gameplay. So,
no, but the one thing, yes, there was gameplay, but the other thing that was very surprising from an Xbox Showcase, first-party games.
11 of them.
Yes,
it's
from
crazy.
their studios, which is insane. That's like 11 more than they've had
at any showcase ever.
At any showcase, and should also say, no Halo,
no Gears
of War, which is Forza, but that's there's a Forza game every year, so that doesn't matter. But they're not relying on Halo
or Gears,
which is good. It's we're finally seeing things turn around. And
don't get me wrong, I was disappointed that Gears wasn't there, but
I was too. But then I sort of thought about it, like, do you really want Gears of War to come out and overshadow big space RPG game? No.
I mean, it would have been like if anything, it was going to be a tease for. It felt like it could have been like the one more thing, and like here's a little tease for Gears 6 out 2025, something like that. But anyway, we'll get to that.
I sort of feel like they'll do that like at the end of the year sometime. Like they'll do another little developer showcase and then say, "Hey,
here it is, revving of the chainsaw bayonet."
Also, out of all the predictions as well, while we get into this, I was very shocked to see that Todd Howard did not wear a leather jacket.
Dickhead.
That's the first thing I noticed. Like, Todd, what are you doing, man? But I know why he wasn't wearing a leather jacket, because he wouldn't have been able to get that sleeve over that gigantic watch that he had on his wrist.
Oh yeah, which I've ordered a collector's edition.
Well, don't be silly. I ordered a controller.
Oh yeah, I'm considering the controller too, but
I saw the controller, thought I'm buying that, just because I'm convinced on controllers now.
I ordered the collector's edition through Amazon, knowing that they're not going to charge me for a long time, so it gives me a bit of time to make up my mind. Whatever, I'll do it then. So stake that, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's get into the showcase itself. They kicked things off with Fable, which I think we'd kind of expected them to open with it. So
we did. I don't know if we said open, but we said that there'd be Fable.
Yeah.
And would you believe
there was Fable?
There was Fable.
What'd you think of it?
True
this
Fable
kind
form.
Of Jack and the Beanstalk style thing they went for.
I think they got old Richard Odewade there. That was great. Him just talking about vegetables, and I just started laughing. I thought, this has got Fable written all over it. I thought, we're fine. There's a Playground Studios. The humor's there. I don't care. I want it. Whatever comes out. I don't care when it is. 2024, 2025, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like maybe 2025 based on the fact they didn't say 2024, but
well, it did say it's 2024.
Did it?
I thought at the end, I'm pretty sure it said 2024 at the end, maybe in very, very small writing. But
I might
I
have
was
missed it.
I was very, very happy just to see the title Fable. I was thought, finally, we can. We've been asking for Fable game for years, and now finally,
Well, I mean,
it
we
is
already
in
knew
the
because, of course, there was
pipeline.
the teaser with the frog eating the fairy from last year. But yeah, this was kind of the real deal. Still no gameplay present, but they kind of teased kind of the path they're sort of going down there, and it was fine because they had heaps of other games where they did show gameplay. So yeah, really excited for Fable. I feel like 2025, but that remains to be seen. An awesome starting point. Next up is the one that was once referred to as Codename Midnight or Project Midnight. Is now formally announced. It's the Compulsion Games title, so Contrast and We Happy Few for people unaware. South of Midnight, which had a really, really cool art style with this trailer that they were kind of showing off. What'd you think of it?
I didn't mind it. Did like I said, wasn't much gameplay to start off with, so I like what Xbox did to start off with, just get the trailers out with no gameplay out of the way, which was very smart.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting, like you said, concept, interesting. It's in hillbilly swampland with fantasy things. That's how I look at it. But I'm
I like the
excited.
tone of it. Like Contrast was, I kind of liked Contrast's tone that they went for, which was that very black and white sort of aesthetic. We Happy Few was like a path that I was really happy with, but then they didn't deliver it in the way that I liked. This feels like it's kind of the sweet spot in terms of the tone and what kind of works for the studio, I feel like. So now it's just a matter of how does it actually play when the time comes as well. So good to see it finally get announced, and hopefully it's not going to be too long before we actually get to see more of it. Next up is a game that I'm sure was, for you and I, was probably one of our favorite titles, and we're gonna, by the time this episode of Patch goes live, we'll already know a whole lot more because the Ubisoft Forward will be done. But Star Wars Outlaws, sorry. So the new game from Massive, the team responsible for The Division, and also the Avatar game that's really, really close too. So they're spinning a few plates at the moment. But what did you think of Star Wars Outlaws?
Well, to start off with, I just saw a Ubisoft game. I thought, oh yeah, cool, they're making a game. Then saw a TIE Fighter. I thought, wait, no way this the Star Wars game's here. It absolutely sort of threw me off because I thought, wasn't expecting a Star Wars game to show up in the showcase out of all places. Even better, no Jedi's. No Jedi's to be seen yet. We're going down the old, what we say, Rogue One
Yeah. Will they
scenario,
be able
which
to
is
remain
good.
disciplined the whole time though, and not have Jedi's at all? That'd be
Oh,
a
there'll
real
be
test.
Jedi's. There'll be Jedi's for
They
sure.
can't help it. Lightsabers are Star Wars.
Or unless they'll just take the fun out of it, see a Jedi just walking around, gets run over by a vehicle. Not a true Jedi.
No.
Would have said that.
I liked it. And yeah, I'm hoping that the Jedi or the lightsaber waving is to a bare minimum when the game comes out. And yeah, I guess it's kind of a weird one because we're going to say all this stuff, but by the time this episode goes up, we'll already know a whole lot more. I didn't expect it. I knew that it was going to be at the Ubisoft showcase. We've been working with Ubisoft on some stuff prior to the Ubisoft Forward. That includes a whole bunch of Assassin's Creed stuff, the crew, and they told us there was a third unannounced game that they were going to show, and it was blatantly obvious that it was going to be Star Wars. So I kind of didn't have it on my Xbox bingo card because I'm like, okay, they're going to wheel it out there, but instead they've kind of gone down the path which Xbox has actually done in the past, where it's like announce here, CG trailer, see more at Ubisoft Forward or whatever in the past. They've kind of gone down that path, but I didn't expect it to happen with Star Wars. So it was a nice little surprise and definitely keen to see more in the morning. I don't know, like before this episode ends up going live for Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, the mod. Was I say, isn't the Ubisoft Forward in the afternoon for us?
No, it's Tuesday, 3 a.m.
Oh,
So as of when,
must be getting.
as of when we
yeah,
record
yeah,
this, it is like 6 hours away. So, it's we were recording this about 8:30 at night, people. So, yeah, keen to see more. We'll know a lot more by the time this episode goes live. Stay tuned for our thoughts next week, where we kind of debrief on Ubisoft Forward, the Summer Games Fest announcements, and anything else that kind of tickles our fancy.
An old volley or whatever is the bowl.
Oh
from
yes,
Devolver.
yeah, Volvi, yeah.
I
Holy
was
shit.
so into that. I thought, hey, I don't remember seeing this in any game. And then like, oh wait a minute, that is the narrative. And I
Yeah,
thought, I just want this to be a real thing.
that's the joke. All right, next up is 33 Immortals, which comes from Thunder Lotus. They're the team that put out, Spiritfarer a couple of years ago, which couldn't be any less like 33 Immortals. But what do you think of the fact that this is a game that you can play in like 33 player co-op?
It's a very odd number, 33. I just want to know what the reason behind 33 is. Is that the max they thought this is the max of we can get to 60 frames a second, or is it just did they just spin a wheel or go play bingo or something and go, you know what, whatever number comes out, that's what we're going with. 33.
69
Done.
Immortals. Fuck. Okay, try again.
69 or 96.
420 Immortals. Oh my god.
Blazing Immortals.
Yeah, I like the team. I know they're really, really good. Spiritfarer is very different to what they did with Jotun and Sunder beforehand, which are far more like gameplay wise, more in line with what we're seeing. 33 Immortals. It's combat. They were combat focused, and they were really, really good games. But the screen seemed too cluttered when they started talking about, oh, here's your 33 players, and they're showing off that. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to pick out my character amongst all this mess. Like, I'll see him, and then someone's going to move left and right, and kind of, you're going to have overlays and all those sort of things, and I'm just going to get lost.
It's going to be like that old 4-player where used to play 4-player game with your friends, and you always just look at the wrong screen.
Yeah, it's going to feel a bit like that.
I was going to be the same color as you, and you're going to look at that person thinking that you are that person, but you are the person just stuck in a corner somewhere, and you don't know how to get out.
Shit, that's like some childhood trauma you just brought up then.
Oh yes, plenty. I've done that plenty of times back in my day. It's like, oh, I'm doing so well. It's like, now you're that person. You're in that corner. You're in the corner,
Chad.
Oh shit!
But I haven't died yet. That's all right. Payday 3. I don't think I'd ever, upon reflection, I don't think I'd ever seen footage from a Payday game before, despite the fact there's two of them. I don't think I'd ever laid eyes on footage from that game, so I didn't really know what to actually expect, but I kind of liked it. What about you?
The same. I'm the same. Never seen any gameplay from the game, but you always go to PAX or whatever. There's always people dressed up in a Payday 2 costume. I never understood it. And then Payday 2 was free on the Epic Game Store the other day, so I grabbed it. Still haven't played it. But yeah, I'm sort of excited or interested in playing it because it just seems to be heisting, which would make sense, is why it's called Payday.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
And it's on Game Pass. It's going to be free through Game Pass, so keen to jump in and give it a crack.
So nearly everything that was at the showcase was pretty much...
Yeah, there's not too many actually that I can think of that didn't have either, like they weren't first party or they weren't like
Star Wars. The only one I can think of is Star Wars.
Yeah, might be the only one.
Might be a couple of others there, but I don't know if we'll get to that. I'm not sure about the Capcom one.
Shortly. I might bundle our next one, Persona 3 Reloaded, which is a remake of the original Persona, with the announcement. I figured they'd come back to back because they actually leaked a couple of days beforehand. Atlas accidentally posted the trailers to both Persona 3 Reloaded and Persona 5 Tactica. They accidentally posted them to their Instagram like 2 days before the announcement was supposed to happen. So I'll bundle those two together for the sake of this, just to make life a little bit easier. Persona, Matto, thoughts?
Never played it.
Yeah, and I'm actually in the same boat. Never played them, but I think with three was kind of the one that helped bring the franchise a little bit mainstream in the West. So if that's the one they're going to remake, that's probably my opportunity to actually try and jump in. But look, I'm still in no great hurry. I am playing a lot of JRPGs this year. And I don't know, I might just be a bit burnt out and not in the space for one that is a bit more on the weeby side by the time this comes out, I think in November. So we'll see. There's not a hell of a lot coming out in November that's of interest at the moment, which is certainly weird.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness, because everything else is coming out in September and October.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Just looked at the release dates. Like I said, October. I was like, oh jeez, like it's bad enough that this year there's that many games coming out, let alone 2 months.
2 months where it's just stacked.
Just packed.
we'll be able to discuss that, I'm sure, when we get to the updates episode for the month. So yeah, no more thoughts there on Persona. I'll probably jump into 3, try that as a remake. 5, Tactica. I don't know. I'm in no hurry. Avowed, which was a game that you and I were both pretty excited for to show up. What'd you think of it?
Looked good. I saw Obsidian. I thought, oh great. I thought for a second like, nah, maybe this is like a new Outer Worlds and just doing it a bit differently. Then I saw the magic there. I thought, nah, this is not Outer Worlds. Definitely not Outer Worlds, but it looked really good. I thought, you sort of looked at it and go, there's not going to be a Elder Scrolls big game getting announced. No way, because it will get absolutely crushed if Bethesda brought out another Elder Scrolls announcement. It's just
while gearing up for Starfield. Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. But it looks like really Elder Scrolls though.
Like does.
But apparently, and I didn't know, and I don't know if maybe it was just someone misspeaking. I don't know. I've listened to a lot of people talking about this since. I think Avowed might be in the Pillars of Eternity. No, not Pillars. Is it Pillars of Eternity? Pillars of Eternity was. I'm pretty sure that's the franchise. I'm looking it up now. Timeline. That's another Obsidian game. Yeah, it is. It's in the same universe as the Pillars of Eternity franchise, which is something that Obsidian, like, they've already put out 2 games for that. They've been really well received. This is set in that world, apparently. So, in terms of carrying over lore, great. But in terms of gameplay, obviously very, very different. So, and I was all for it. Yeah, like it really felt like an Elder Scrolls game in all the best possible ways. So, keen on it coming out in 2024. If they can do it in early 2024, that'd be even better.
I mean, that'd be great, but you never know. I mean, there's so many things coming out in 2024 now. It's just, I thought 2023 was going to be bad. Now 2024 is just going to be even about the same at this rate.
Yeah, and Nintendo and PlayStation haven't really said much about what their plans are yet for that year.
Well,
so
Wolverine for one.
Well, Wolverine's one, yeah.
That's it. That's all I know for PlayStation. Then probably some remakes of some games that don't need remaking. But that's
more on that another time.
That's a different story.
You still playing Sea of Thieves? Are you tempted to play Sea of Thieves: The Legend of Monkey Island?
No, I played Sea of Thieves. I downloaded Sea of Thieves for like 8 hours, played 5 minutes of it, then uninstalled it because I couldn't get past the tutorial because there ain't no tutorial, and you probably need people to operate your ship.
Yeah.
But no, it's an interesting one, but it's not a dumb one. You look at it and go, makes sense.
Makes all the sense in the world.
Pirates makes so much sense. But I saw around, I thought, yes, Banjo, but pirates. I thought, no, it's not Banjo. Unless Banjo just comes out from under the cabin or something and just goes, and then.
I was sitting there with Kieran Verbruge from Press Start, and when that Rare logo popped on the screen, we both basically looked at each other, and there was almost kind of that, oh, it's happening, and then it was Sea of Thieves, and look, there wasn't a groan because we actually had one of the heads from Sea of Thieves there, and I guess for context for people, I was at the Fan Fest event in Melbourne with an invite from Microsoft, which was really, really great of them. But yeah, they had one of the heads from Rare, and specifically Sea of Thieves, over there for the event. So there definitely wasn't a groan or anything like that. In fact, it actually got a really positive response from everyone in the room. But
just I would have just disheartened him if it's like, oh.
Yeah, there was still kind of that, hey, sort of thing when people realised there was still positivity, but there was the, hang on, this is not the thing that we were hoping it was going to be.
Not what we wanted.
So, but looks really, really good. And then the reaction got better and better and better as more and more of the Monkey Island stuff crept in. It was getting, like, the humour was there. It was awesome. Really, really keen on it. But I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to jump in. It's also out really soon. I think it's like July or something.
Yeah. It's like things are either coming out in July or September.
Yeah.
That seems to be the 2 periods of release dates for some reason.
They just have to stop. No more. But at least, I mean, I guess in this case, there's something coming in July for this one, but the core product is not till next year. Flight Simulator 2024 and June content that is coming to Flight Sim next month. Something like that. Soon. Flight Sim 2024, that was the main thing. What do you think?
I mean, it looked impressive, but I'm not going to play it.
Yeah.
It's like I like what they said, like start your new career. I thought that's not really real. People are gonna go do that as a career and absolutely shit themselves because they actually have to do it.
If it comes
But
out to Xbox day one with PC, then I could get involved because like there was a lot of hype and I was really into what everyone was saying and doing when it came to Flight Sim when it first came out in 2020, I think it was. But it was to PC, and of course, as well noted, I'm not a big PC guy. I don't even really have a rig that could run Flight Sim like it needs to. So if it was available for Xbox day and date with the PC version, then that would be a totally different story. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm here. I can be part of this with everyone else. I'll take off. I'll land. I don't know, save people that have fallen off cliffs or whatever. That they're doing in this one, where it seems to be far more. Oh, there's kind of rescue, emergency services elements to the whole thing as well. Seems cool, but like I'm in no great hurry for it, I guess. So let's move on to Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga then. What do you think of this one?
I'm just glad it's getting sort of some. We know when it's going to get released. It's next year, like everything else. I was excited. Wasn't a lot of gameplay,
Well, it was, but
but
it wasn't. Yeah, it was.
but I was trying to figure out when I played it why I only played it in short spurts, and I then realized why because I had headphones on at the time, and I remembered because
You
the
hear it
sound design in that
here, and you hear
game.
it there, and you hear it there, and
Because this, yeah, like I said, the
they're
sound
walking
design in that
around
game
you.
absolutely messes with your head. I thought I'm kind of glad that they only did a 4 minute trailer because I'd be on the ground in the fetal position crying because that sound. Because like I said, the sound design
It
because
messes with you.
you hear one voice in one headphone, one part of your headphone is talking there. There it goes to this side. There it goes to the back. Then the front, and you're like, I'll make it stop. But we
Yeah.
didn't really see much. But they did reference the burning baby, which I was glad they didn't forget. It's like when the actor lady who
Oh yeah,
plays
Melina Jurgens. I think her
yeah,
name is.
she's like, our last time, so I threw a spear at a giant baby. Well, that's not what she really said, but that's how I reference it.
I
It was a
referred to it as a
giant
burning baby in the thing there, and Kieran
burning
certainly got a
baby.
little chuckle out of the whole thing. That yeah, it was. I don't know what they called it.
Some giant goblin thing
Yeah.
or monster, but we call it giant burning baby because that's what it
Speaking of
looks like.
giant goblins, let's move on to Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, where every single step of the way they're trying to hide someone's giant goblin. That's for sure. Um, what did you think about this trailer? Where it looks like, I mean, I don't know my Yakuza Like a Dragon stuff at all, but I know that it's set in Japan, and that is not the case here, where our main character from Like a Dragon or like Yakuza Like a Dragon, that is now just called Like a Dragon going forward, seems to have somehow turned up in like Hawaii or somewhere like that, but he was completely starkers. All the jokes were about the fact that his cock was out and didn't realize it for an age. Like even the way the little crab scuttled across in sync with him to like
And
that kept
then the
hidden.
person picks up her drink,
But then there's a bottle
and
behind it
behind there's a
still.
sub screen. Oh, it was great. Like it was just a true Yakuza slash like a dragon like trailer. What I expected. I just found it even funny they called it Infinite
Infinite Wealth, yeah.
because it's just sideways. It's just an 8. So you just go makes sense. I was just trying to think, why would you call it Infinite for? I just did this and went makes sense. The other people are just gonna go that makes no sense. Like it does make sense.
Just got to think about it
Just gotta think. You just gotta think really hard about it.
and turn your head
But I
sideways.
just laughed. I laughed at the whole thing. I thought this is just true Yakuza style presentation
They are
because they just
churning
make
these games out though.
so many spin-offs. They got
The
the
Man
other
Who Erased
one,
His Name comes out in
and
November,
then they had the Inshin one earlier
Ishin
this
earlier this
year.
year, and
Then they had
now
two Judgment
Like a Dragon,
games.
Infinite Wealth. So it's full
Yeah,
on at the moment.
I mean, Sega they just might as well just give up on Sonic and just like, get Sega to just put everyone on Yakuza games. I mean, I'm that far behind on Yakuza games that I'm trying to catch up.
I haven't. Yeah,
I'm on 0, which is the 6th installment of it. Then I've got to do 6, then 7, then try and get onto this one. And
you're
then
doing pretty
play
well
all
though, to be fair, because I am 6 games behind you. Then I haven't started still.
yeah. It's pretty much the same story, but you just gotta laugh at it, everything from side stories because it's just weird. It is the true weird Japanese style gaming that you would expect.
Yeah,
and I
I
love it.
know. Now I actually know I
absolutely
like
love
it
it.
because I played 2 for a little bit during the Player 2 marathon, and really enjoyed my time with it. And so it's like, okay, like this confirms what I suspected, that I do enjoy this. But now, how the fuck do I get the time to play this? So I've got to find some
Oh, you
time,
won't.
and I'll just
Good
go for it.
luck.
Yeah.
Just hide somewhere for 6 months.
I've just got to put a memo out to all game developers and publishers to not release games for a while. I'm sure they'll listen. Next up, and we can really breeze through this one, I think. Fallout 76. It was there. There's a new trailer. It presents well, but the game's, I mean, it's not dead. They've obviously got a community there, but it's just,
Honestly, I forgot about it until they brought it back up. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about Fallout 76.
yeah, I don't. Moving on, I think. Next one is called Path of the Goddess. There's some Japanese or kind of text there that I can't read, that maybe says Path of the Goddess in the native language. I don't know. I thought this was Monster Hunter for ages because that had, like, the art of it looked a lot like Rise, but then there was just so many other
Yeah.
aspects that didn't add up. I'm like, what am I
Yeah,
looking at here?
like the hands going down on the bridge. I thought, no, this is not a boss. I thought the same thing. I thought Capcom, funny Japanese edge
Yeah,
fence
whatever
thing.
whatever the symbols represent.
And sort of weird hands came across the path. I thought, nah, it's not Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I
Unless
thought it might have been like some sort of spin-off or something, because the art, like the character design, looked a lot like Monster Hunter Rise. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe.
unless I saw a fire breathing T Rex, I wasn't
Yeah,
overly convinced about it going to be a Monster Hunter game. It wasn't. Wasn't disappointed though, but it's just
well,
not Monster
it was
Hunter.
still a weird one because it's probably one of the poorer announcements of the whole thing. Not because it's necessarily going to be a bad game, but it really didn't tell us anything about what it is.
No.
I don't know what sort of game this is in the slightest. So
So does Capcom have a presentation thing or no?
maybe I'll try and take a look while we're going here. But
Because I've
maybe
seen Street
actually,
Fighter about 6 times already about Street Fighter 6 and what you can do in that.
yeah,
Then I got mixed up with Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he's in Mortal Kombat, not Street Fighter. He was in the movie Street Fighter, not the game.
there is a Capcom
Okay.
showcase actually. It is oh June 13, 8 a.m. So
So that's a Tuesday.
shortly after
So-
the Ubisoft Forward, only 5 hours after the Ubisoft Forward. So again, this episode will be live for an hour before the Capcom showcase goes live, and who knows, we might know a lot more about Path of the Goddess then. So we'll wait and see. Next up then is we've touched on Forza already. Forza Motorsport was there. They announced a car. They didn't lower one down, but it was there. They had a physical car in the room, just like they would always do at their old E3 showcases. So they've kept that thing true. Any thoughts on Forza at all?
Not really.
Yeah,
It's a Forza game. You already know what you're going to expect from a Forza, especially motorsports. It's just going to be fancy looking cars going around a track. That's about it.
So any thoughts on ESO Elder Scrolls Online Necrom then?
Oh, no.
I need to
None
play it.
whatsoever.
I need to play
Yeah, I'm
ESO,
the same as well.
but
Yeah.
finding
it's
the
like
time.
on the list. Yeah, it's on the list of games to try and play that I will not get to.
I think at this point, if I'm going to play an MMO, it's going to be ESO because it's free. So like I can just go at my own pace. I don't feel like I'm falling into, like, I would die to play Final Fantasy 14 and fall in love with it in the ways that so many other people are. But because I'd be bouncing between so many other different games at the same time, I'm going to have some months where I'm paying up and not making any progress at all. That's going to drive me mad. And I can't justify that. So ESO, which is another IP that I really like, ticks that final box, which is it's free to play. And so I've got to do it. Doug sent me a version of the game in the past too on PlayStation. I just have not. I don't even, like, it'll be a couple of years out of date now. Did
it come
expansion.
with beer? Did it come with beer?
Didn't come with beer. He just sent me a code.
That would explain why he didn't really take it seriously.
Yeah. Overwatch 2.
I'm surprised they turned up.
Well, I mean, they're
Blizzard.
going to be a first party studio at some point soon, so Maybe they
I
needed to.
would have just laughed if Overwatch they did the Overwatch 2 and said available on Games Pass or whatever, except the UK, and I would have just laughed. Just rubbing it with the UK just for being dickheads.
Yeah,
But
checks out.
no, they're not like that. They're not. I don't know who would do that. Probably Activision themselves, to be honest. They would be the silly ones to go rubbing it in other people's faces. But no, that's always the case.
Yeah,
But still, I didn't really care about it.
yeah, I didn't care.
It's like, did not care whatsoever. I was like, oh yeah, it's Overwatch.
That was my opportunity to take a look at my phone and see what people were saying about all the other announcements. So, good on them. They're still supporting it. There's still a lot of people that love Overwatch, but certainly the numbers are well down on the original game. And they recently killed off some of the PvE or like the stuff that they said that kind of justified why they were going to Overwatch 2. Some PvE stuff. They killed that. So, yeah, I don't know. Good luck, I guess. Persona 5 Tactica we've already covered, so we can move on. A Don't Nod game is next. Just Ant. I don't know.
Just stand.
The game
Juice
looks
Ant.
good. There's a demo available now through that you can get on Steam as well, and it may already be on Xbox too. I'm not 100% sure, but I've already downloaded the demo for PC. My worry with Don't Nod is it feels like they're in a telltale like spiral at the moment. They put out a game just like last week or the week before, Harmony Fall of Reverie, that wasn't reviewed very well. They announced only a couple of days ago that Banishes of Ghosts of New Eden, which was at the Keeleys, that's coming out at the end of the year. They then announced this is also coming out at the end of the year. It feels like they are just project to project to project and just churning out games to, I don't know, maybe keep themselves afloat in a similar sort of way to what Telltale once did. Like they had The Walking Dead, but when it wasn't The Walking Dead, they suddenly weren't doing millions and millions of copies of games. And it feels like now that they're not doing Life is Strange, they're in a similar sort of position where it's just we just need to develop games. We just need to get projects out the door. And for as good as this one is, I'm a bit worried that maybe it hasn't got the TLC behind it that it needs. Like it looks nice, but maybe there's not a lot of substance to it.
Yeah, so it looks nice, but sort of feels like it's going to be repetitive. And just all you do is climb.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm worried about the studio because they just everything's happening too fast, I think. Still Wakes the Deep.
Don't know.
Horror.
Horror, yes, because there was fog, so that would indicate horror.
Horror on like an oil rig is a kind
rig.
of cool thing.
So is this are we doing a reenactment of the BP oil spill?
Yeah, that was horrifying for a lot of people.
That was
animals.
horrifying, but no, yes, but no. It just I think there's no escape. There's fog. Someone's going to die.
Yeah,
or many people are going to die. Main person included. We don't know, or maybe it's just a simulator of just being on an oil rig in the middle of nowhere.
Oil Rig Simulator 2024.
It's just a very foggy night. We don't know. It could be just a simulation game.
Yeah.
Turned horror.
What do you think?
Yeah, they didn't really show much. Just sort of the main thing. It was probably just as bad as that other PlayStation trailer that had nothing behind it. We don't know what it was.
Yeah, it's just hard to tell.
That's what it kind of felt like. And there was fog. That was it. That just sort of gave away. Could be a horror.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that. I'm a little bit unsure about the whole thing. But next up is a new title, Dungeons of Hinterberg. It's an indie title. What did you think of it?
I liked it.
I liked it too. But that
like
came
that.
with concern still.
Concern.
Well, I just feel like they're trying to do a hell of a lot in the game. And it feels like it could be like a jack of all trades, master of none style scenario. That's my worry.
Oh.
Like indie teams spreading themselves too thin in terms of mechanics. There was like the sliding, there was all sorts of combat maneuvers. There was a lot of different things that you could do, and I just worry that some of the stuff maybe is a little bit half cooked as a result.
That's fair. That is fair.
Because it looks awesome. It presents really well, but I just feel like
there's something wrong, or something's not right.
Yeah, like you just can't deliver all this stuff. I don't know. That's my only thing. Like it almost looks too good.
the old looks too good to be true
That sort of thing.
trailer.
Yeah, that's the sort of
Oh,
thing. But what do you think
that's-
though?
it looked nice. I was convinced, but then you start to talk about it, it's like, was it too good to be true? It's hard to tell. Maybe it's not. When it comes out, it'd be great, and everyone's just going, I was wrong.
Speaking of
Or
games that are too good to be true, or were too good to be true until they sorted their shit out, Cyberpunk 2027, Keanu Reeves
okay,
was there.
that's the more funny thing because I said, yeah, Cyberpunk will be there, and also as a joke,
Idris
thought,
Elba.
maybe Keanu or Idris Elba will just turn up and present it. Who would
We
have
got we
thought
got
Keanu
Keanu.
Reeves? He is that guy is fully committed to this.
He loved it. He was having a great time
He
with it.
loved it. He was having a grand old time. He was there for about 2 minutes and then just he was done his bit and just
It's like
walked off.
Nicolas
It's like
Cage at the Summer Games Fest. He's
it's
having
pretty much
the
all.
time of
It's
his
just
life.
sort of feel like he just did his part, walked out the door, and just went home. That's sort of
He
how
did.
I
He
feel
just
like.
kind of burst off like they didn't
Just
just
his
cover
first
him
off,
there.
he's probably just go home, get on his bike, and off he goes back home. I thought
The reason it ended the way it
that
did is
was
because
good.
he just ran off at that point and did exactly what you just said. And like, I guess we just have to cut the footage. Like,
Well,
okay,
we
we'll just
done.
have
We
to-
done. I was like, I've got to be somewhere else. But
I'm Keanu
it,
Reeves. I gotta go.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, do what you want, Keanu. Just I don't care. I'm gonna listen to you no matter what. But I can't wait for it. And then it said September, and I thought, shit, not another September. Then I thought, oh
Right in the
god,
middle of the mess. Just
right. And it's like at the end of September, I thought I've got to have time to do that.
Just to set that stage, you've got Starfield September 6th, you've got Lies of P the 19th, you've got that DLC for Cyberpunk the 19th, there's Payday 3, and then all the October releases as well. Like, it's just insane.
But I am excited for it. I've got to go back and play Cyberpunk again, just see if they made any more improvements since I played it last year, which I probably think they would have, because I started playing it when they sort of had the next gen update
Oh, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That's what I played. So I think it's just go back and see how it is then, just play it again, revamp what's going on, because you don't have to finish the whole game to
No,
like
it's a bit
play
like
the DLC.
Blood and Wine from The Witcher in that sense, where you can just,
Yeah.
as long as you kind of meet the level, I think, you're just good to go.
But even sort of the game, you sort of got that part where there's a point of no return. So when you finish the game, you just go back to that point.
Yeah.
So you can just do that same last mission again. And all the people that keep saying, "Oh, Cyberpunk is rubbish. It's this and that." Like, have you played it since launch? It's like, no. Then shut up and go play it. Then come back and see me.
Yeah, and I think I'm finally going
It's
to
the
do
same.
it. I think I'm going to finally do it.
Because I'll just hear those people like, "Oh, Cyberpunk was rubbish, this and that." Like, have you gone back and played it? Because you'll probably forget about the terrible launch because it actually is finally
Well, the key word is
good.
it was rubbish.
Rubbish. It was rubbish. There was potential there. The story was good, but it was just buried under numerous amount of bugs. Like it was. So this is the story, and then you just get this big like a giant meteor or something and just squash it. That's what Cyberpunk was when it got released, and now they've slowly fixed it. Wouldn't say they did a hot fix. They'll do hot fixes like 40 times. It's like, here's a hot fix. Here's another hot fix. Like, they're not hot fixes. You just say fix. Just say fix. Just say you're fixing it. Don't have to tell me it's a hot fix.
Yeah.
Just say it's fixed it. But they did finally They did many hot fixes to finally fix it, and it was good. And now I'm just excited for this DLC to come out.
Yeah. Should be pretty sweet.
Because just because Keanu was there, I was just sold Keanu was there. It's like this
Keanu,
guy, any other person just would have said, "You've paid me for what I did. I'm not doing the rest of your marketing." Keanu's just there. So hey, Keanu, can you just go?
Whatever you say, Keanu, it's fine.
Keanu, can you come promote this DLC for us? They'd be like, yeah,
sure, I'll be there.
because that's the type of guy he is. Just a jolly good guy. Keanu is.
Yeah. Next up, and we're getting towards the end now with all the announcements. We've got City Skylines 2. You looking for a SimCity like?
No, never played SimCity in my life. It did look interesting, but I don't think I have the devoted time to just really get into it. Unless it has like natural disasters where you can just throw a meteor in and just blow everything up. I don't have the time for that. I'll just build like a little small town or something, not a big city. Just a
That's,
small local town, a logging town. I'll just go with a big logging town or mining.
I mean,
And then
yeah,
when all the
that's
business
fair, I guess.
dries up, when all the business dries up, so's the town. Town's dead. Ghost town.
Um, I'm more into. I mean, it's not the same, but after paying like 2 Point Campus and stuff recently, I've kind of got a bit of an itch for those sort of sim like building, building up your city, building up your school campus, whatever that sort of experience at the moment. Um, Hell, I've even been playing like mini motorways on my phone lately as well, which kind of fits that bill as well. So, um, yeah, I'm keen to give it a go. I enjoyed the first City Skylines. My wife loved City Skylines. So it'll definitely be on in this house. I think it was another Game Pass title, so easy one to get in the door and justify. So next up is a game that I suspect you've got nothing to say say about it.
I
Metaphor Fantasio. It's from the Persona team.
That's what I thought it was. I thought another Persona game. I thought
They didn't
three
accidentally
three
leak this
Persona.
one.
I thought three Persona games. I thought, geez, what are they trying to do here? But no, it looked like Persona. Wasn't Persona.
Wasn't Persona, but
But they're made by the people who worked on Persona. So figure that one out.
yeah. Um,
But
and that's about all we need to say about it, really, because I don't know, it's crazy Persona shit, style shit. So let's move on to Towerborn then. This comes from the Banner Saga team. Stoic, I think was their name. What did you think of this one?
I kind of forgot what's. Hang on, I'm just looking at it now.
Yeah, feel free to check out the trailer while you go. It
God,
is like
okay.
there was a lot of games, so eventually some of these little smaller indies along the way start to kind of drift out of the mind.
Oh, that game. Okay.
A lot of cool systems involved, I thought, and the team has pedigree, so I'm more than willing to back them in and just trust that they're going to make a really good game.
But you know, yeah, I was looking at it going, yeah, I can't, like I said, can't remember it. There was a lot of games there, a lot of good games. I would not say this is a terrible game. It's just there was so many games there that,
Yeah.
And also I didn't get angry at it. No light shows, which was great. They
True.
just had people that could actually present, which was so much better than just old boring gym.
Yeah.
Just people like, oh hey, no headphones, no whatever or VR, but. Yeah, it looks good, but I don't know if it's on my list of games to play. But if it's coming to Games Pass, I will give it a go.
It's a good start, yeah. The final game of the actual Xbox showcase part before we jump across to the Starfield Direct was In Exile, who we'd kind of predicted beforehand was maybe going to kind of stick to their Wasteland or like old school Fallout style experiences and continue down that path. And instead, they announced a Bioshock like, really.
I thought it was Bioshock. I thought, oh, it's on the comeback, and then it's not Bioshock.
And
looks
yeah,
like
there was a
Bioshock.
moment where I'm like, holy shit. But it's only because they had In Exile at the their name at the very beginning that I knew it wasn't that. But man, there's a lot of Bioshock about this. It's an FPS, which was good because we did have a lot of RPGs at that point. So to kind of change things up with a shooter of sorts was nice. Especially one with that sort of environment, and that style and personality. I'm like, this was my favorite game of the show.
Oh, yeah, it looked great. It's like I said, I'll say more Bioshock Infinite, I should say.
Yeah, Infinite
more than
specifically.
the first two Bioshocks. But that's what I thought first. I thought then the whole time traveling thing kicked in. You're like, the whole
gonna start getting
time
messy.
travel thing. It's like it's going to start messing up. Well, not messing up games. It's going to start making things more interesting of decisions you make from here, then go back there, then change something there, go back there, and see how that messes up time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be. I wouldn't think it'd be coming out next year.
No, they kind of gave the when it's ready sort of comment for the release date. So this thing
in
is
time. I thought they were just
25
doing
later.
puns. I thought they were just doing puns about clocks.
No,
So I thought they were just being funny. But no.
I think this one's a fair way off. So 2025 probably at the earliest, I would have thought.
Well, they probably don't need to rush it anyway, because I'm pretty sure Xbox is pretty much covered for next
They're
year.
good for a while now. Like the first parties, I think this is a conversation.
Shocking, I know. How shocking is it that we're coming here talking about?
Well, they may still be
Xbox
shit. They could still
They
be
might
shit.
still be shit, but they've got games in the pipeline that are coming out next year. 11 of them, or not 11 of them, but they announced 11 first-party games, which is
Huge.
mind-boggling, huge for them. And that's all I've got to say about
Yeah.
that. It's like usually, oh, they need more first-party games. Oh, they need this, they need that. And they've sort of, I wouldn't say solved it yet until we see releases of them and then say, hey, that's a good game. Because at the moment, they haven't
Yeah, they haven't
quite,
proven it yet. They haven't proven it yet.
I would say very up
There's
and
a lot of
down. I wouldn't
promise.
say they, very up and down at the
Yeah.
moment.
There's potential,
But
but we need to see him deliver. Which takes us to the final game that we need to discuss. I don't know about you. Like, I thought Starfield was obviously going to be huge. It's going to be a big game. It's a Bethesda Game Studios game. It's a Todd Howard game. Of course, it's going to be a really big game.
you know, it was serious too because Todd had his jacket off.
Yeah,
As we spoke before, like things are serious.
exactly.
Todd's got his jacket off.
No leather jacket. I did not expect to see footage from a game that I think, like, I figured, not that, we're obviously quite noted as being Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom bashers, despite in the case of Tears of the Kingdom, we still haven't even played it yet.
Well, there's 5 dicks, so of course we got to play it.
Yeah, we'll play it.
And probably all the stupid stuff you can do in it, apparently. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to play the game. I'm just going to do all stupid stuff and not care about the game.
But that game, and I'm sure you probably have a similar mind, regardless of our thoughts on it, it feels like the obvious runaway game of the year winner at this point. Like, I just didn't think there was any other game that could possibly catch it based on the way Tears of the Kingdom was being received by just everyone, except us, apparently. But looking at Starfield, I'm going, holy shit, like, Zelda might actually have some serious competition here.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in with what we saw, the 45 minutes. But the one thing I'm glad they fixed, the one big thing, are the eyes.
Well, no, remember there was still that one bloke, the crazy fan.
What? Well,
do you remember that guy?
Crazy.
He's been memed out all over the internet all day today.
Oh, not that guy, because the look of the eyeballs are just freaking me out in the last Starfield.
Yeah,
like,
the Starfield crazy fan.
The crazy eyes are back. And yeah, I know the one you talk about, the blonde-headed guy, the pointy ears. I thought someone showed it was some Skyrim or something. I don't really know, but I just laughed because everyone's just taking the piss out of it. And you know what Xbox is going to do with that? They're going to ride that all the way until you get sick of it. That's what they're going to do. There's put it on a t-shirt or something, or make a controller out of it.
What I didn't realize though is that fan actually is like I'm only reading about this now. Thanks, Games Radar. Better mute because I think you've got ads. They bring back an infamous Elder Scrolls NPC for Starfield. This is a reference to a character from Elder Scrolls.
I'd laugh if they still had the same name. That would make it even funnier.
If you're unfamiliar with Bethesda's storied history, this, quote, annoying fan is a character from Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, known instead as the Adoring Fan. In the RPG, the character would become a huge fan of the player character after they became a grand champion of the arena in the Imperial City, following them around without faltering.
Oh, that's great. So you're just going to have one fan following you around the whole game.
Like, the eyes still give me the shits, but holy crap. I didn't realize there was that layer to it.
So all those was Elder Scroll fans would just look there and go, oh no.
He's back.
Or who's ever played Oblivion.
I don't
just
remember
they'll just look at it and go, oh no, I've seen that face before. And then the little clock ticks in their head and they're like, no, not him.
It's him. But yeah, I guess setting that aside, holy shit, that game looks good.
Oh, just the gunplay itself.
It is 30 FPS as we've learned since.
I don't care. Honestly, Zelda's 30 FPS. Exactly. No one cares because there's fire dicks in it. Burning fire dicks, people don't care.
That's what they're there for.
The way I look at it, if the gameplay's good, story's good, exploration, all that stuff, the one thing you're not going to be thinking about is frame rates.
If it's steady.
Unless you're on...
If it's steady.
If it's steady. If you're on frame rates, go play it on PC or something, like a noob. Or not a noob, like... If you want to stop complaining, like, oh, well, 60 frames a second, go buy a PC. If not, shut your face about stupid frame rates. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, like, I mean, sure, it's slightly disappointing that it's not 60, but it's going to run... like, if it's sold, then I actually don't care. It could be running sold at 22 for all I care. Like, as long as it's consistent. Well, no, okay, I take that back. But like,
all I want to do is go through smoke and not have lag. That's if you do that, no lag, going through smoke, it's a win. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I say if any game has the choice between performance mode or whatever the other performance,
Fidelity.
whatever the other one is, fidelity, I'll always go performance mode. I'll always go there. But if I don't get the choice, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason for it. But like everything about like even the developers who have a better presentation skill than poor Jim,
yeah,
tell me about like you get to do this and that. I was like, just take my money. I don't care. Just stop talking. Take my money. I'm already hooked. I was like, I wasn't sure to start off with. I was and an ahhing like, could be good, but you don't know. Then they started showing it like, hey, you can change your ship to do this and that. I thought, yes, penis rocket.
They made it into a transformer.
Amazon rocket. We can make. Everyone's just going to make penis rockets or that Amazon spaceship that gets sent to the space. Everyone's going to do that. Everyone's just going to make the most dumbest looking spaceship and they're going to share it. And Bethesda's just going to laugh and just go, look at what we've done.
They laugh and shower in their money that they're making from it all.
And then there's also you pretty much, well, it's not the harshest way to say it, invade other planets and just build your own stuff without a permit and just build away what you get. And they're still talking about the 1,000 planets and random story missions. So it's going to be big.
Look, I mean, Todd did say some of those 1,000 are like just resource planets. Like you're not going to complete anything other than like collect shit.
But I sort of feel like that some of those planets are just go into all the stuff and go, right, make a planet.
Yeah, and like where we need like ratios we need to hit, we need to add a bit more of, I don't know, this particular type of crafting resource. So that's what your planet's all about. Make it.
Do whatever you want with that planet. Make it whatever way you want it to look. Besides penis, don't make it a penis planet. That's let the people who are playing the game to make up their absolute silliness. But overall, like the way the developers are talking about, you get to do this, you get to do that, get to invade other people's ships and steal their sandwiches, and then keep those sandwiches. I just laughed at that so much. I thought, I just want to do that. I just want to be a sandwich thief. Just go to just go everywhere. Just make this massive tower of sandwiches and just see how many sandwiches you can get there before the
game starts chugging.
It just shits itself and just shuts down.
It's not a PlayStation version of the game, so it'll be fine.
Then they'll be crying with their complaint, we don't get Starfield. But that's okay. You have Spider-Man, Last of Us, Uncharted,
God of War,
Returnal,
Horizon.
God of War, Horizon.
Lots of Horizon.
I mean, lots of Horizon, Real Horizon Remake, Death Stranding, Final Fantasy. 16?
Yeah, 16.
16, see? I don't see no one's complaining about that because, let's be honest, no one gives a shit. Well, except for Final Fantasy fans, who, let's be honest,
were never
PlayStation fans.
Yeah, they were PlayStation fans.
Never Xbox. So even I had an Xbox. I saw Final Fantasy and thought, that's a PlayStation game. Get off. That's just silly.
I mean, it is at this time that I figure I might just have to like shift my allegiances a little bit. So bear with me as I jump ship. I scored some gear, some loot while I was with them. So I'm now part of the FanFest crew. Number for year 23. I was like, why am I getting like a LeBron James or Buddy Franklin or whatever number on my back? But no, it's because it's 2023, so it checks out. Part of the Xbox army now. Jumped on board. Game Pass. It's the greatest thing that ever happened. Woo, 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 woo. It was a great showcase.
Redfall's not that bad.
No, it's misunderstood.
You can't.
Misunderstood,
eh?
Holy shit's cold.
I don't think we can save that. I can't convince people about that.
You're just too busy focusing on the frame rate, not busy focusing on the bugs.
GOW is the best. Gears of War. That is correct.
Holy shit! It's really cold. But yeah, thanks to Xbox for bringing me over. I've got that shirt.
You'd be a true Xbox fan if you threw that PlayStation Lite thing on the bookshelf on the ground and stomped on it.
No, I'll pass. I won't do that. But...
And just knock over your tall deck as well, the Lego one. And then
for a sec, I've just unplugged you.
What a shame.
I'm feeding the cord back through.
Oh, you missed out.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I'm not saying it again.
there we go. No, I'm not throwing
Maybe
the
just
no, it's
no.
not happening. But we
You sure?
might need to make a bit more space because what I've got Chief here, partially obscured by a Geelong Premiership pennant anyway. Otherwise, there's basically no sign of Xbox at all, really.
Well, you got Doom's help. The old Doom. I know.
Well, I guess yeah, Doom guy is an Xbox character now. I've got Alduin, but from Skyrim, but of course that's still on PlayStation.
So pretty much nothing.
Pretty much nothing.
Let's be honest here. Pretty much nothing.
Yeah, pretty much nothing. I've got Chief.
And pretty much, and let's be honest, like
Master Cheeks.
343 Studios is also at the moment nothing.
Yeah.
Because everybody left, or all the main ones left.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's good times for them. Any final thoughts on the Xbox showcase? Because we've cracked the hour. As of I think we rambled for a few minutes before we started actually doing the show. But like the clock is at an hour at this point, so we've been going for a while. Any final thoughts when it comes to all things Xbox showcase?
Yeah, it was good. Really good.
Good.
I said that at the start. But I think out of all the presentations that we've seen so far, there's only been 4.
There's been a few small. There's been a few small ones, but basically it's been PlayStation, Xbox, and Jeff Keighley.
Devolver? Do you add Devolver in there?
If you want to count Devolver, it's pretty small.
Either way, I think Xbox is at the moment number 1.
Yeah.
For this year.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Like I mean, the Devolver one was great, but that's just Devolver being Devolver.
Yeah,
because they're no competition. If they did what Xbox did, people would just going, "This is shit." But Devolver doing it as Devolver does, it makes it even funnier.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a great job, and we'll talk more about that for next week. But it's
overall
awesome showcase.
It was a great showcase. I would say I was trying to think of what was the one thing I hated about. I think I would like to have seen more Hellblade gameplay, but at the same time, probably best that they didn't because I'd be going insane.
I would have liked to have seen where Perfect Dark was at. I would have liked for an update on Perfect Dark.
Probably in the bin. I'd say in the bin at this rate.
No, because Crystal Dynamics even came out recently and said it's going pretty well. So, and they're the ones obviously leading the thing at this point.
Maybe Crystal Dynamics said, you wait. Maybe it's a September release. Maybe October. No, don't.
We'll see, I guess.
No, let's not.
So yeah, I guess that's it. That's the Xbox showcase. As we mentioned before, Ubisoft is going to be they will have already aired theirs by the time this episode goes to air. So stay tuned next week. We'll talk about the Ubisoft showcase. We'll talk about Devolver. We'll reflect on the Summer Games Fest showcase and anything else that's kind of popped up along the way. Capcom, as we mentioned, are doing theirs as well. That's like an hour from now if you're tuning in when this episode goes up. In fact, by the time I'm saying this, the showcase has started, it's starting. So tune into that. Lots of cool stuff. There's still more to come. So it's that time of the year. There's lots of game announcements going.
I think the one thing I'm still wondering about: why was Phil Spencer wearing a Hexen t-shirt?
Because he said something like in the last 12 months about how that's a franchise he'd like to bring back.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty sure it was one of those t-shirt teasers. No Banjo-Kazooie. Fuck him. I don't care.
Yeah, that is disappointing.
Yeah, I don't get
it. Would have been funny if like Donkey Kong came across, but I know that's never gonna. We know that's not gonna happen because Nintendo would be they'd be jumping up. Doug will kick the door down at Xbox and go, "Oi, what is this?"
Bit of this and starts throwing banana peels and shit. Anyway, we'll wrap things up there then. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons are down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Visit the website, player2.net.au for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kicking a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter. Matto.
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the Xbox showcase and any of your favourite games that you saw there. But otherwise, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next week.